Hello everyone and welcome. As promised, I'm going to be talking about that huge Walking Dead news that came out a couple of days ago. Now I found this news to be so shocking and upsetting that I just had to stop what I was doing and make a video about it. So that's right, I'm sure you've all heard about it by now, but on Tuesday it was revealed that Enid is getting an increased role in Season 9 of The Walking Dead. This is the worst news I've ever heard. What did we viewers do to deserve this?
That's not the news.
What?
Andrew Lincoln's leaving.
Andrew Lincoln's leaving?
Yeah.
Well, shit, I better alter the script for this video then. Excuse me, I'll be back in a moment. Sorry about that, I seem to have gotten my wires crossed. It appears that the real big story everyone is talking about is the reveal that Andrew Lincoln will only be appearing in half a dozen episodes in The Walking Dead's 9th season due to his character departing the show. Since hearing this news, I just have this gut feeling that Rick's head is going to end up on one of the Whisperer's pike come either the mid-season finale or the end of the season, with his death going on to kickstart the Whisperer War. I could be wrong, but I think the show will go all out now in an attempt to one-up Negan with its new antagonists. And what better way to do this than have them kill off your main character? Do I think this is the right way for Rick to leave the show? Well no, I'd rather see his character stick it out to the end, but like Nick Clark in Fear, if the actor wants to leave then you've just got to let them leave. Really, what else can you do? Of course, with Andrew Lincoln jumping ship, the general consensus seems to be that The Walking Dead is doomed. And with that in mind, I would like to announce that as of today, my channel will be now only focused on everything Z Nation. Z Nation reviews, Z Nation features, Z Nation, zebras? Look, I'm only joking, I've never even watched Z Nation. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, in all honesty, I know that Andrew leaving is a huge deal. Obviously, I mean, he's the main character. But I am actually on the fence as to whether this will make a huge difference to the future of the show, because even prior to this announcement, I didn't think The Walking Dead had too many seasons left in the tank anyway. I know that may sound like I'm being very negative, but when you look at the viewing figures for the last couple of seasons, you can see that The Walking Dead has been losing viewers pretty quickly, even with Andy still on the show. Honestly, I think that even if he had stayed, the show has only got about 3 or 4 seasons left at a push anyway, so you could argue that in the long term, not an awful lot is going to change. However, I'm not stupid enough to think that Andy leaving isn't going to affect the show at all, and it may be that the number of viewers who give up with the show will increase tenfold because of Rick's exit. It could be that if The Walking Dead's numbers drop significantly after he leaves, then the showrunners may have to re-evaluate whether it has the staying power to go on for another couple of years. The Walking Dead is still a huge recognisable brand, there's no doubt about that, but it's not as fail-proof as it once was, and it seems to be a franchise that isn't expanding but is instead regressing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I thought the show was going to come to an end during the next half decade regardless, and if Andrew Lincoln's departure does result in a huge downturn in viewers, then maybe the show will have to just finish a season or two earlier than planned. Speaking of plans, AMC seems to have their own strategy to save the show, and that involves offering Norman Reedus a ton of money to take over as the lead. Now you may remember a few months ago I made a video about Rick potentially leaving or dying, and in that video I explicitly said that the person I didn't want to take over from Rick was Daryl, and that looks like what is happening. Seriously, does no one listen to me? Look, I know he's popular, I know a lot of fans still love Daryl and Norman, but for me I just don't get excited about the prospect of seeing Daryl as the leader of the pack. His story arc is done for me. He hasn't really added anything to the show since he had a brief friendship with Aaron back in season 5, which got randomly dropped for some reason never to be brought up again. I'm sure the writers have some plans for how he will take over the mantle, and also have some potential future storylines laid out. But boy, they better be bloody good, because it seems as if the show's future now firmly rests on Norman's unusually big shoulders. I've seen reports suggesting that Norman is trying to negotiate a new contract worth $20 million, and I have to say he's certainly a clever git. He knows that with Carl leaving last year, Rick saying goodbye in the upcoming season, and with all the rumours surrounding Lauren Cohan's position that have cropped up during the last 6 months, AMC will not want to lose their merchandise baby that is Daryl Dixon, which is why Norman has asked for such a huge paycheck. I don't know the exact figures regarding how much the Walking Dead cast were paid during the last season, but I have found a 2017 article published by The Express which reports that Andrew Lincoln was paid roughly £74,000 an episode for his work on Season 7. Now compared to a lot of other actors, that's pocket change, especially when you look at how much movie stars make. This works out at about £1.1 million a year, around $825,000, and here we have Norman asking for $20 million. What a cheeky bastard. In fairness to Norman, I honestly think if he does sign this lucrative contract, his character will be given an almost impossible task in attempting to resurrect the show. The Walking Dead will be heading into its 9th season later this year, and generally when a show goes on for this long it's expected that people will drop off. which is why, for example, so many shows end after 5 or 6 seasons. It's tough to recover when people feel fatigued or just aren't invested anymore. It's even tougher when you're trying to salvage a show 9 seasons in with a change of protagonist taking place as well. Truthfully, I don't really know if it matters who takes on the role after Rick, because regardless of whoever attempts to be the new main character, I feel they are going to struggle to single-handedly save the show. When it comes to my opinion on Andrew Lincoln's decision to leave, I'm not angry or annoyed about it. In fact, if I were him, I'd probably do the same thing at this moment in time, and I'm just glad we've been able to enjoy his character for so long. He's a great actor and I truly hope he achieves great things doing whatever it is he sets out to do next. Fans have stopped watching The Walking Dead for a multitude of reasons over the last couple of years. Bad storytelling, dodgy cliffhangers, slow pacing, and I think Rick leaving is just going to be another reason that causes even more people to turn away. However, like I said earlier, I think the show is coming to the end of its lifespan anyway, and I felt this way even before this story was broken. So yes, Andrew Lincoln leaving is bad news, but I think if he had stayed on it would only delay the inevitable. I think The Walking Dead will go on until season 12 tops, so let's just try to enjoy the rest of the show while we still can. So there you have it, there's my views on the recent news that Andrew Lincoln is going to be leaving The Walking Dead. As always, please let me know your thoughts below, and until next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.